Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am Reverend Casey Taylor. I use they, them pronouns and welcome you to the United Life Center for Spiritual Living. This is Spiritually Uncuffed. I announced to y'all last week that we were referring to Sunday morning services as Spiritually Uncuffed from this point forward, and nobody has protested, which is my favorite. If I was just listening, we talked about, I'm going to get into this in a second, but we talked about how this new year is a renaissance, and I was listening to the Beyonce Renaissance album this morning, and she has a song called Cuff It, and it just like listening to it and coming in Spiritually Uncuffed. I was saying when I walked in, we were throwing all kinds of fun shade. I am with it. So I'm grateful that we are gathered here, and we're going to open up with our drums with a song called Gathered Here with Risa Suave, who is our musical guest today and our musical guest next week.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here.
So we'll sing this a few times. Let us get into it. Let's say 4 times. I guess you don't have to do anything with the slide, so I'm trying to get my class right. Just join in when you feel good. All drum sounds are welcome.
Oh, of course. You taught me these songs. That's what it's for. All right. So since I started here, December 1st, the whole announcement situation has been wonky. I was like, give me a minute to figure out what this job is, to know what I can even tell you what I'm announcing. And I feel like today is the day that I got it. That I know what we're doing. I have time to figure out what we're doing and actually make those steps to make those things happen. So I did that. And today I have lots and lots of announcements. And the first one that I think is the most important is that our website is live.
Hey.
It is up. The information that I'm about to share with y'all right now is on the internet. You go to unitedlife.org, that information is going to be there. So no, I'm just letting you know that these things are all on the website. And at any given time that you're like, oh, that sounds interesting. When is that? Where's that going to be? That's going to be the place you can find it. So grateful. And some of those things, like I said, that are coming up. Today, we're having a core council meeting. Our leadership council is meeting today at our office at 3810 North Tulsa. And we are also having our congregational meeting there as well. That is the thing that I've said, even if you are not an official member yet, we would love to hear your voice. And I can say that I will have a big announcement to make around our location for Sunday services at that congregational meeting happening on January 26th last Sunday of the month at 3810, 1 o'clock. And like I said, all that information is on the website.
Would they be live streams or?
That is a really good question. You are the first person to ask me that. And so I can say, if you want it to be live streams, I will absolutely live stream it for you. I don't want to live stream. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I won't. Maybe I can. Maybe I
So
can.
what we'll be doing is we do have access where it will be like a Zoom or Google Meet where you can join remotely. There will be that access, and we will be recording that meeting. So if you would like a recording of that meeting, we could then just send it to you.
Fantastic. Glad our council member is here to answer that question for you. So we've got Risa here, like I said, today and next week. We've got DJ Megawatt for the final Sunday for Spiritually Uncuffed. This is Spiritually Uncuffed in action. And for the month of February, we're going to have a meditative kind of experience. We're going to do a sound bath. I'm bringing in Deanna Reed, and wherever we are, Deanna Reed will lead us in a meditative experience. So we're going to have like, I want us to be on the floor as much as possible. So this month is the drum month, and next month is the bring your mats, bring your blankets, get comfortable. Like, let's just get cozy and enjoy the winter coziness together and meditate and get some inspiration. And in March, Rev Suze has agreed to perform for us. I don't have a lockdown date yet. I'm also talking to Jessie Powers, who is a world-renowned New Thought musician. Highly recommend checking out her stuff. Talking about having her come in for a concert. I'm trying to figure out how to do it, but she already bought her plane ticket to Oklahoma City. So she's going to be here, and we're going to be doing something somewhere, somehow. And I'll keep you all posted about that information. Maybe I'll have more by that congregational meeting. That will be another announcement that I will have to share. So I saw you had this Golden Girls trivia situation up there for a second. Here you go. Golden Girls trivia. That's coming up. Again, we're doing all kinds of things at 3810. There's a brewery called Broke Brewing Company. Golden Girls trivia, $5 to play. We do need prizes, and I've got another slide there called paints and prizes that we are accepting donations for paint for this mural that y'all said, yes, that's the mural we want. We need paint. We got a painter, but we need paint. So those colors right there, if you're like, oh, I've got a bucket of lavender, it cannot be oil paint, but it can be house paint. So if you have some specific questions about colors, about making paint donations, let me know. And for the prizes could be anything. They could be artwork that you've made. It could be something in your house that you don't want anymore. You know, just baked goods. Yes. So we're accepting donations for paints and prizes for Golden Girl Trivia and for our mural. So those are all the announcements that I have for you today. See, like I said, I got my announcement game. Like, we've got a lot going on. And I love that. I'm here for it. Especially Golden Girls Trivia, paints and prizes. Like, we're doing some cool stuff. So, with no further ado, I'd like to invite us to speak our vision and our mission statements together. We are
a loving, inclusive community, joyfully expressing spirit. We honor, celebrate, and support each individual's awakening to their spiritual magnificence. We empower each other to live happy, healthy, abundant lives.
We did that one in sync this week.
Let's go.
Magic is right. That was the word that came up in prayer today, and I'm feeling it. All right, so now is time for our meditation and prayer portion. Risa's going to lead us in a song. Addison Belines is going to share a message with us, and that's how it's going to be.
Well, I love that last line. We empower each other.
Yes.
It's really beautiful.
I'm glad you vibe with it.
And singing together is one of the ways that I feel most connected. When we sing in community and we raise our voices, and I also feel connected to that space, that higher space inside of that doesn't always have words, but you can feel it maybe when you sing. So This is a mantra-style song. A lot of you guys remember it from last week. And I love the repetition because it gives us a chance to get out of our heads, trying to remember the words, and to really drop into what it's saying. And so when we talk about the gifts of God and the gifts and the medicines around us, the medicine of community, the medicine of connection, the medicine of song and nature and all of God's gifts, we have to remember that we're also a part of that, and that we are also gifts of God. And so the invitation is just to feel into that on the song, however you like, with drumming or your voice. I love my body, it's the holy temple. I am connected to the earth. I love my body, it's the holy temple. I am connected to the earth. I love my body, it's the holy temple. I am connected to the earth. I love my body, it's a holy temple. I am connected to the earth. I love my emotion, it's a divine ocean. I am connected to the water. I love my emotion, it's a divine ocean. I am connected to the water. I love my emotion, it's a divine ocean. I am connected to the water. I love my emotion, it's a divine ocean. I am connected to the water. I love my mind, it's a magic breeze. I am connected to the air. I love my mind, it's a magic breeze. I am connected to the air. I love my mind, it's a magic breeze. I am connected to the air. I love my mind, it's a magic breeze. I am connected to the air. I love my spirit, it's a sacred flame. I am connected to the fire. I love my spirit, it's a sacred flame. I am connected to the fire. I love my spirit, it's a sacred flame. I am connected to the fire. I love my spirit, it's a sacred flame. I am connected to the fire. I love my journey, it's a beauty way. I am connected to the medicine. I love my journey, it's a beauty way. I am connected to the medicine. I love my journey, it's the beauty way. I am connected to the medicine. I love my journey, it's the beauty way. I am connected to the medicine. May it be so.
And it is so.
Good morning, everyone.
Good
morning.
Really glad that Casey opened up with talking about joy and fun shade, because I don't think I've ever made a statement that doesn't include at least one of those two things. So the idea that first came to my mind about this stretch into new possibilities is, baby, who wants to stretch? Like when I think of stretch, I'm like, that's stressful, girl. That means I'm going to be working out. I'm about to do some hard labor. Like I'm about to put my body through it. Like I need to stretch into that. And so I was like, I don't like that wording.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Like I just don't like the idea of making yourself stretch into this idea of this possibility. Because why? The possibility is there. We have feet. We don't need to stretch. Stretching is us trying to make ourselves something more than who we are. And that's not what we're here to do. This brought up a conversation that I had with Casey actually last Sunday, funnily enough, about snow and cold. And I made a statement calling snow and winter ghetto. And when I tell you that you would have thought that I had said that Mariah Carey had ended up hitting her entire career, Casey was offended. Honey. Casey was like, what? How could you think that? And so I talked to Casey about it, and I said, listen, I grew up in the middle of nowhere in Arkansas, in the mountains, where snow and ice equals 2011, that big gigantic ice storm. We were out of power for 3.5 weeks.
Yeah, it's terrible.
We had an outhouse. I had to go in the middle of the night to go take care of my business 200 feet in ice and snow. Like, we didn't have electricity. We had propane that we had to go, you know, the canisters, you gotta go to Walmart and have them fill and bring that. Yeah, that's how we did. Plus, my parents were, let's just say they made some interesting choices with their life. And chose to do substances that probably should not be done and put in the human body. And that affects a lot of people's moods and how they act. So accordingly, I did not grow up in a really good space where snow days were something that I was like, oh, I can't wait. Because it was a matchbox fire waiting for me in my head. And it still was to this day, and I didn't even realize to that moment.
Wow.
And so then, of course, what does Spirit do? Spirit says, have 3 days of it, baby. Right after you say it. Just because you said it, I'm going to even send it a day early for you, baby. And so I ordered my groceries to settle down, go get my ice cream. That I was super excited because Casey mentioned to me that Ben & Jerry's makes oat milk ice cream, and I'm a non-dairy girl. My belly can't handle it as much as I love it. So go eat my non-dairy ice cream. It's not non-dairy. Tears my belly up. So now I'm stuck in the snow with my torn up belly going, see? This is why I don't do this stuff. And then I was literally playing a video game on my computer and memories started coming. The good times.
Yeah.
Sledding down hills. Going and playing, creating snowmen. Those small things that in our childhoods, those big things, the bad things tend to overshadow and overgo. And I was talking to Casey about it this morning, and they went, well, that seems like a normal response when you had all that craziness that would overshadow. And yes, it is absolutely normal. I went to redefine that term stretch. Because what stretch really means to me in this place is what we're talking about right now in the zeitgeist of making space. Not stretching. Stretching is us putting ourselves and making ourselves try to be more. Making space is saying, here's what I need. And I need help in this. And there's a very big difference in those two things.
Absolutely.
So instead of stretching and making yourself into something, don't do like that. Just like the song says, these 4 main elements in this beautiful earth that we have, fire, water, earth, and air, baby, they don't stretch. You try and take a rock and stretch that thing out, I dare you. I want to see it. I wish. Water doesn't stretch, it just flows. It does what it does. Air does what it does. Fire. There's no stretching fire, honey. California would make a differ, I will say.
Right.
However, our thoughts and prayers, as always.
Yeah.
And it's about remembering to make space and stretch into those good memories when all you can think of is the bad. That's the challenge. Is in that moment of, I don't want to be in the snow. And Spirit says, well, you're going to be in the snow, so learn to like it. Make the space for you to figure out how to like it, because clearly Spirit's sending you a message, honey, and it may not be snow specifically. It could be something small as I've been meaning to fix that one lug nut and change it out in my car because it's different from all the others and I can't figure it out. And so the wheel is creaking. It's your signal from spirit. Make the space to make it happen. Whatever is stopping your brain from doing it.
Powerful.
Take those small bits. Because those small bits, that making space for yourself to be in that renaissance, creates the space for you to be the better you. So you don't have to stretch, you just the better you. I like that, Steve.
Let's go.
So let's all just breathe into this moment. Remembering that spirit, God, source, truth, whatever you choose to call it, it is all there is. It lives through all of us. It speaks through all of us. It acts through all of us. And because all that there is all of that, I am part of that all. And I know that that all is good. And so I speak my place from that knowing that today has been a divine appointment, that today is the best day ever. And that in this moment where we learn not to stretch ourselves out, but literally say, here is the space where I fit. Come to me. That spirit will continue to lead in those moments. That as we remember to just breathe and do what we're supposed to do, which is kind of ride that lazy river and let spirit do what it does, which is always good. And I'm grateful for that goodness. I'm grateful that we get to be in a space together where on a Sunday I get to tell my jokes during this moment and everyone is okay with it and loves it and is joyful and shows love and care and compassion, because those are the sentiments of spirit. Not any other rule, not any other law. That's it. Love, kindness, compassion. And I'm grateful for it. And so I release this word into the law that always responds with yes and more, my beloveds. I invite us to each affirm this prayer however we so choose. I choose by saying, and so
So it is. So it is. That was good. That was good.
Right?
That was good.
You took us somewhere, Addison. Me and Reese are like,
baby,
what are
I
we
took
doing?
myself somewhere. Trust me.
It reminds me of something Abraham Hicks said, and she said, what aspect of well-being would you allow to dominate your experience? Every aspect of well-being always exists in every perception. It just depends on what we decide to focus on.
Thank you so much for adding that. I appreciate it so much. Mary Lee, it is
Do
just
you
special
have
music.
quotes
You
today?
do. After special music, the special music slide, I switched up the order. That's what it is. Special music used to be after. Now we do gratitude after.
Well, now I have,
Yeah.
Just
So
that.
next one. There you go, that one.
well, that's one of Reese's, chants. Yes.
Yep, that's what we're doing
But
right
that's where, okay, that's where you want to be now.
now.
Okay.
Yep, that's
Gotcha.
what
Okay.
we're
All right.
We'll do this one front to back.
doing. All right.
We'll do it front to back 2 times. Making space, yeah. So this one came to mind when making space was brought in. I got you.
Yeah, that was powerful.
Yeah.
It was really powerful.
Yeah, very powerful. And it took me back to this moment one time when I was like, I'm praying for all of these things. You know, I want all these beautiful things to happen in my life. And then someone's like, but you're holding too many bags. Like, how are you going to pick up anything that God gives you? And so for me, making space really resonated in the way of like opening that space to possibilities so that I can receive what is meant for me. And this is a song from Plum Village. For some of you might know Thich Nhat Hanh.
Oh,
He's
Thich
one of the
Nhat Hanh.
leading, rest in peace, one of the leading meditation teachers of the world. And he talked a lot about creating that space inside of us so that we can.
Beautiful.
So this is a slower song, and I'm going to invite everybody to just connect with it in a way that feels meaningful. So if you just want to sit and really breathe into the lyrics that I'm singing, or once you catch the rhythm, then just feel free to come in and just have some. Like I said, we'll do it 2 times there. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. I am moving.
I am one.
Like a flower, I am fresh
As the dew.
I am strong as a mountain.
I am firm as the earth. I am free.
Breathing in, breathing out.
Breathing in, breathing
out. I am reflecting
what is true, what is true.
and I feel there is space.
Keep this side of me. I am free, I am free, And it is so.
May it be so. We have done a wonderful job of making space for it this morning, haven't we? And whether we were doing it on purpose with intention, it's the vibe. I'm with it. I don't know if I shared this with you all, but I prefer to do a theme for the year as opposed to like a decision that I'm going to do differently, because those don't work for me at the top of the year. I can make decisions, but not in the middle of winter. That is not the place for me to be making decisions and making shifts in my life. And I think I mentioned to y'all that I got, well, okay, so what I said I didn't say. What I haven't told you all is that my personal theme for 2025 is enjoying the magic. And the most fun part about living this theme over the last 12 days is that I haven't lived it on purpose. I don't have a piece of artwork that says enjoy the magic in any space that I'm in. It's not written in front of me. The way that I experience my themes comes from a reflection that starts around October of the year before, and I just allow a theme to come to me, sit with it, see if it feels right. Always the first one that like says, yep, this is the one. Always is, but I just create the opportunity for like maybe it's not. I make space for whether this is my theme or whether it isn't. And enjoying the magic, the what I'm doing with the magic changed a whole lot of times, and enjoying the magic is the thing that stuck. And it's been really nice over the last 12 days to enjoy the magic. Grateful to have received the theme, and I'm grateful that this Sunday has been a reflection of that without any intervention or conscious intention. I am absolutely with it. So I mentioned that the Global Themes team, this month in particular, is Reverend Daryl Jones, who is my homie from Chicago, and Sonia Hart, who is a practitioner from Jamaica. And a lot of this content really leans into the first 4 chapters of the Science of Mind that we dove into last December. So I'm just pulling like one quote to honor the work that they did, and to know they're the ones who came up with this theme of making space for it. So I'd really like to identify what felt right for them around what this theme meant for them, what their intention was. And so in Science of Mind, there's this concept that our thoughts create our reality. And this quote that they said about what making space for it means for them is, our true power lies not in controlling external conditions, but in mastering our thoughts and beliefs about those conditions. I've been thinking about this concept of our thoughts and beliefs about conditions a lot this week. And I didn't know I would talk about this until right this second, but that's what it is. Many of you know that I moved here from Los Angeles. And so despite the fact that I'm not in Los Angeles right now, I'm incredibly grateful that I am not in Los Angeles right now. This is where I just came from. This is the life that I've had for 10 years. And the amounts of fear and
Man.
discomfort and just like, so what I'm saying about this thoughts and beliefs about our conditions is I'm in Oklahoma while this is going on, and I've got an opportunity to get to know and meet a lot of people from Oklahoma since I've been here for the last 4 years and almost coming up on 4 years. And it isn't just Oklahoma. It's I know people, like, being a member of the Centers for Spiritual Living means that a lot of practitioners and ministers and members, active people in the Centers for Spiritual Living, if I have 300 mutual friends with somebody and I've never met them before, I accept that friend request. Or if Facebook recommends it, I read it. And my Facebook feed this week has been a combination of people who I love and my heart is hurting for, of expressing the fear and the discomfort of not knowing if their homes will survive, or the people whose homes did not survive, but really leaned into the gratitude for their safety and the resources and support that they're receiving. And the other half of it has been a lot of conspiracy theories about where these fires have come from.
Yeah.
And for me, speaking for myself individually and not the United Life Centers for Spiritual Living, for me, I have noticed scientists say for decades that what is happening now with the weather is inevitable. That if we continue to ignore climate change, that the fact that the Earth is, in 2024, the hottest year on record, 23 was the hottest year on record before that, we continue to ignore that, these kinds of natural disasters will increase. And despite the fact that the experts in the scientific industry have expressed this, there are some people, I don't even want to say a lot, I don't know numbers, there are people who believe that there are political reasons behind what's occurring. And I believe that healthy communication, being willing to have conversations about these kinds of things, for me, what social media does is allows us to get to know one another. That I know somebody believes this based on the fact that they chose to share this information, that this is their perception about the fire. And despite what caused it, the reality is that the measurement that's been compared to is the Chicago fire was like 3 square miles. The San Francisco fire was 4 square miles. Altadena alone was 14 miles. Palisades alone is some other like 3 times as high. I don't know the numbers, but I do know what it's like to live in that city. And the fires are happening in like the 4 corners of the city. The people who live on the south side, Orange County, are the people that feel the most, just feel the safest from the fires right now. But they've been happening in the metro area, and as long as there's been wildfires in Southern California, the metro areas have generally been safe. And right now, these current fires, 3 different areas in the metro are literally still burning. So I have no idea what it's like to be on the ground there, but I do know what it's like to have been on the ground during the pandemic, when the city was on fire, not due to wildfires, but from protesters. And when I experienced that, work was just normal. That was what I've told a lot of you all, that I worked as a TV executive with Viola Davis's production company, and it wasn't our production company, to be honest. When I say that work was normal, it wasn't my job, my company, but what it meant to develop television shows and sell them. For me, at the time when there was a global pandemic happening and the world was on fire, I'm like, maybe we need to think bigger about what kinds of television shows that we should be making. 2019 TV shows, what we had in mind, what we were trying to do, seems to be very different than what 2020 is happening. And I was the lowest of low-level executives across Hollywood, and no one really wanted to confront and deal with the trauma of the fact that the city was on fire. And now it's it's on fire in a way that cannot be ignored. by the city. It cannot be ignored by this entertainment industry that really defines and decides what it is that we are seeing on our streaming networks. And this statement of our true power lies in mastering our thoughts and beliefs about those conditions. What each one of you has shared this morning is about the fact that we get to live in flow. That despite what science says, despite what people don't believe around science, and one of the things that I've been experiencing this week is really looking into what science calls pseudoscience or sci-science. There's this podcast called the Telepathy Tapes that are about how nonverbal children with autism can communicate telepathically, and how the scientific industry is designed to ostracize anybody who tries to suggest that this might be happening. And I get it, like, who wants to talk about telepathy, especially with people with special needs? Like, it sounds really out there. So basically all of the people that feel like they've noticed these things feel like they can't talk about it. And some filmmaker came and put it all together, and not only did she talk to families across the country about this experience, but she also talked to scientists about their challenges in getting, not only publishing their findings, but also facing ostracization for having published their findings. So knowing that we live in a world where the science industry criticizes people for studying certain areas, I can completely understand that despite the fact that scientists have been saying for decades that what is happening right now with our weather was going to happen, that there are people who don't trust the scientists because the way the science industry is designed, it doesn't necessarily feel credible to each and every one of us. So I can have compassion for people that are choosing to focus on their distrust of the scientific industry instead of the fact that Los Angeles is on fire. That Los Angeles is on fire so often that we live in a world where the news is constantly telling us to be afraid of this, to judge this, to fear this, that we don't even know what is really happening, and we don't even know who we can really trust. But our true power lies not in controlling what is happening in the media, is not in controlling what is happening in people's hearts and minds out in the world. It's about mastering our own thoughts and beliefs about these conditions. And that's why I'm so grateful to be a part of a spiritual community of people who choose to do that, because that is not common. And I appreciate each and every one of you for choosing to do the best that you can to master your thoughts and beliefs around the conditions around us that are not pleasant. So in this theme of making space for it, what the first thing that comes to my mind is Tricia Hersey's Rest is Resistance, a Manifesto. It is this book that I quote all the time here, and I may have even used this quote before, but this is what came to me. Tricia Hersey said, "Resting is about the beginning process of undoing trauma so that we can thrive and evolve back to our natural state, a state of ease and rest." I said earlier that I don't make big decisions in the middle of winter because the middle of winter is the season of rest. That to me, the end of 2024 is about releasing. And that doesn't mean if I do a big, and I've been doing burning bowl releasing ceremonies for myself for probably like 15 years now. And affirming something the very next day is not the time to do that. It makes lots of sense to really be present with what has been released and allow what needs to manifest to come forward. And for me, rest has been embracing where that comes from, where that healing work happens. And the reason I quote this book so much is because I grew up in the same world that each and every one of us did, where we were taught to believe that we had to work hard to make ends meet, to take care of ourselves, as opposed to prioritizing rest and trusting Spirit to provide, to know that Spirit is our source and our needs are always met. That experience of undoing that trauma of I need to act and do to accomplish and operate from a place of rest has not only has served me, but prepared me for success right here and now. I told you all when I did the announcements today that I said I need some time to figure out what the announcements are. I'm a month and a half in, and I got a whole list for y'all about what we have coming up. That came from rest. It isn't as if I hit the ground running on December 1st. What happens is I said, hey y'all, like, I'm gonna need you to trust me to do this job. Please don't put office hours on me. Don't tell me where I gotta be and what I gotta be doing. Trust me that I'm gonna do it and that it's gonna be done and it's gonna be done well. And the council said, great, fantastic. We love this way of doing things. This is what undoing trauma and living by example looks like. Yes, you do this. And so what that has looked for me is really taking time off, is noticing when I'm feeling a sense of needing to be doing something. Oh, I have all of these things that I should be doing right now. Yes, but my body's calling for rest. And this winter in particular, I have taken more naps than I've ever taken in the history of nap taking for myself. And this is the nap ministry. Trisha Mercy came up with the nap ministry.
Yes.
So because I'm constantly quoting this book, anytime I notice myself feeling I should be doing this instead, but my body is calling for a nap right now, I get to remember that this council has empowered me to choose my body. And what has occurred is the stuff got done. The calendar got filled. The website got updated. The council meetings have been set. Though we don't know what we're going to do about this bylaw situation, but we will figure it out at today's council meeting. That this experience of prioritizing rest has fully served me, making space for rest and trusting my needs will met, or has fully served me, and I'm grateful that I get to live by example of that. Welcome, Derek.
Welcome, Derek.
So Trisha Hersey also said, there is no blueprint or cookie cutter way to get our liberation. We rest to find our way through. Right now, while Los Angeles is on fire, and I shared my experience of what it meant to be a television executive at the time, in the moment that Los Angeles was on fire, that moment for me was this recognition that was this, first of all, was this reminder that the reason I wanted to work in television to begin with is because I wanted to use TV as a medium to inspire. And what I learned is that the education that I received from having been an executive has prepared me to be the content creator that I've always wanted to be. And right now, what I'm calling a renaissance, when I talked about enjoying the magic, is me learning who I am as an artist, what that means, exploring myself, exploring as a writer and creativity, and recognizing that whatever it is that I'm meant to be, because like I said, when I was a TV exec in that moment, no part of me considered the possibility that I would move to Oklahoma within a year and serve as senior minister of this organization. In fact, even as I was here serving as assistant minister, I didn't see myself as senior minister of this organization. So I recognize that the more I make space, the more I prioritize rest, the more I choose patience. And that one is the kicker. Because like, we want peace fires to be out today. We want everything to be resolved today. When the reality, the purpose of why things are here, why we are being forced to either have a conversation about climate change and actually do something about it, or continue to ignore it and experience the consequences of ignoring it, it's going to be what it is. Us individually are not going to change the entire cultural consciousness of the relationship to climate change. But what we can do is rest, listen to what is ours to do it, and trust that whatever it is that we hear, what that is, whether it is blow up your life and move to Oklahoma, or whether it's just take a nap, that Spirit is always guiding us to whatever it is that is right and perfect for us. When I think of making space, there's a song called Take Up Space by Tony Jones. Tony Jones has this like affirmation music that part of my own spiritual practice around rest has involved a lot of Tony Jones songs. And this one called Take Up Space, Sis, she has a lyric where she says, I use my voice, my heart, my thoughts, my truth to speak up about what I want. I don't use coded language. I'm loud with it.
Mm.
For me, rest is what has helped me learn how to know what my truth is to begin with. I have a very long habit of people pleasing, that even noticing that it's there, that knowing what it is that I want, because what feels like what I want is for other people to be happy. My life is way more convenient when other people are happy, because then I don't have to deal with you being unhappy. Like, that's not mine to do. So, like, for me, people pleasing has always been the easiest way to operate. And what has occurred is I've lost myself in the process.
Absolutely.
I don't know what my preferences of communication are. Do I want a text? Do I want a call? Do I want an email? Do I want a meeting? I don't even know, because whatever is the easiest for you is what I'm willing to do, what I choose to do. And so my practice of rest helps me get present and clear about what I want, to use my voice, to listen to my heart, to know that I don't need to use coded language, that I don't have to worry about the consequences of speaking my truth. Even this experience of having talked about climate change on a Sunday morning, that's pretty controversial in spiritual centers in general. And I'm not saying what I'm saying. Y'all do your own research. But I think it's important not to pretend like the things that are happening around us aren't happening around us. Mm-hmm. And people get to draw whatever conclusions that they want to make around that. But I think it's important for us to be spiritually uncuffed and have a space to talk about all the things. So the last thing that I want to leave us with, I'm going to be super honest. When I opened up the Global Themes website and opened up January, I saw this quote and I was like, yes, I'm with this. And I was like, wait a minute, this date doesn't make sense. And this doesn't really sound like something Daryl would say. And then I realized I had opened up the content from last year, which I wrote. So it makes perfect sense. And I'm like, yep, I vibe with that. I own that.
That's funny.
So I was like, well, whatever. I don't usually read my own stuff from a year ago. Spirit called me here to this quote for this reason. So this is what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to share it and leave us with this. I said I just want to note, our theme last year was a grand rising, and remind each one of you that that theme came out of my experience at CSU Youth Services. There was a youth that really led with this idea of starting the day with a grand rising. This morning, Donnell texted me and said, abundance rising. And I was like, yes, abundance rising. It feels like the 2025 version of Grand Rising. And the theme for 2025 is that next level of Grand Rising. We are rising higher, growing deeper. So I feel like reminding us of that Grand Rising theme, is that's what we're doing. It's not just a collective Grand Rising. We're rising even higher, and that experience of rising higher requires that we grow deeper. And making space for rest is where that growth happens. It happens in the darkness. It happens in solitude. It happens in spiritual community. It happens in all places. So we are all doing the work together. So I wrote last year, the past doesn't define us. Now is the time to apply the lessons learned and put our teaching into practice. We are the heroes the world has been seeking. How do y'all feel about taking that into prayer?
That's good.
Fantastic. Let's get our drums. I like this prayer with the drums. Is that cool with you? Prayer with the drums. I've been liking to stand for prayer too, so I'm going to do that also. Stand with my drums. All right. So, I invite each one of us to take a conscious moment to connect with your own understanding of the divine. Knowing that your individual understanding of who and what Spirit is a divine appointment. You are here by divine appointment. Each one of us was called to Oklahoma, maybe not such a dramatic way, but was called to Oklahoma by divine appointments. And in the ways that we are inspired to serve, to be a part of this community, to connect, to listen, to act, to speak, gratitude. That was how I changed up the order. It used to be that special music came after the talk, which is why Mary Lee's like, what is happening when we are doing the slides today? And
I like Mary Lee's responses.
yeah,
What?
like, no, I didn't throw
Wait,
shade.
what?
Yeah, shade morning. But just that I moved special music because I thought it was really important that as we give, we're giving conscious of the gratitude of the participation of the exchange of flow as we give. So I invite us to speak this giving affirmation together, and then we will move into our gratitude song. I live in abundance.
I am filled with abundance. I joyfully give from that abundance, and it transforms my life.
And so it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
We ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Best day ever.
Right like that. Just so y'all know. FYI.
Big Karen, call us.
For sure, for sure.
Let's do a collab, girl.
All right, so I don't think I got anything in between. So now we just got our closing song, and then we have our council meeting. If y'all want to join us at 3810, that's what's up. Any other questions, comments, feedback before we sing our final song together?
We'll do this 3 times too.
All right, we're gonna do it 3 times.
We are siblings on a journey, singing in the clouds, singing to the darkest night. The healing has begun, the healing has begun. We are siblings on a journey, singing now and once, remembering the ancient ones, the people and their wisdom, the people and their wisdom. We are siblings on a journey, singing in the sun, singing to the darkest night. The healing has begun, the healing has begun. We are siblings on a journey, singing now and once, remembering the ancient ones, the people and their wisdom, the people and their wisdom. One more time. We are siblings on a journey, singing in the sun, singing to the darkest night. The healing has begun, the healing has begun. We are siblings on a journey, singing now and once, remembering the ancient ones, the people and their wisdom, the people and their wisdom.
Thank you, everybody. Have the best week ever.
Best week ever.